welcome back to the channel. After the meet over the weekend, everything was great. No issues with the car, no issues with the motor. Everything seemed like it was fine there. Only issue that we have is the alignment still. So it was shaking like a stripper, honestly, on the freeway. So the rear was fine, just the left side, because of last time taking off that, what do you call it, wheel weight. I need to get that rebalanced, but I definitely need to get an alignment. I was fighting it the whole way I was driving around. So because of that, yeah, we're gonna get an alignment this weekend or this Friday. So may or may not be in this week's video, may be in next week's video, we'll see. But otherwise, yeah, we're gonna do some little things, just some touch-up stuff. Interior door card. So let me work on getting this side on here. So I got these from Speed Saga Engineering. Essentially, it is allowing me to do exactly this. Putting the door card on there. I kind of like it. I kind of have mixed feelings for it, but we'll see here in a moment. We'll try and put this other side on here in a second, and then close the door, and then see if we can get it on there. Now, it did come with hardware that I would just need to take out. It would assume that I would need to take out the actual plastic piece that's in the door that accepts a screw. So, for example, something like, I don't have any up there. Wow. Stand by. Okay, so essentially, this is what's in the door. Something similar to this size, and that will allow you to just use one of these screws and just screw it in there, and it'll go in. This obviously will not go in that way directly, so I would need to take this out, and it will just fit right into the hole itself. So, but that would require me to take off the door cards again, which I do not want to do right now. I will eventually do it, but because that side, the door handle or the window thing fell off again. So I have to get another one of those. Well, open up the door panel to get to it, but once that's out of the way, yeah, then I'll throw these on there, because they probably look a lot better being flush. I asked for flush, so I'm gonna use them. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take these, put this on the other side, and see what it looks like. So like I was saying, pretty straightforward. It's pretty much gonna be this piece itself, and then you're going to, I'll just screw this real quick. And then you're going to set this within. Ooh, upside down. Good. Here we go. Set it within. Get the hole lined up, and then we'll just put it on the door. So we'll feed this through just a smidge, and then we'll come up here. I think this side doesn't have. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, cool. I did put it in on this side as well. Let's make sure it's all the way there on that. And slide it on. I don't have anything to brace the door, so I'll just have to use my leg a little bit, but. Don't do it because it's pretty threaded in there, I think. And I like how the other one is angled a little bit, so angle that. Nice. So, finished product. Pretty much just sits like that. Sits a little bit out on the door. So that's the only part I'm questionable about. I kind of like it. I want it to be like as small as possible, but it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad either. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. But yeah, one of many things to look at into doing. So let's get to the rest of it. All right, and last thing that we really, well, not last thing, but the next thing we're gonna do is just reset this up to bleed the system. When I was driving on the highway, and I need to honestly turn off my fans when I'm on the highway, make it where it's set to just let it run all the time when it's hot. So I need to flip the settings a little bit for that. My AC switch, which obviously I don't have AC, that is basically gonna kick on this second fan right here. So both fans are running on the freeway. It's kind of preventing proper airflow to go through the motor itself, or at least through the radiator itself. So those really don't need to be on going the speed limit on the freeway. So yeah, we're gonna get the bleeder, put it back on here, go from there. I'm wondering if that bolt behind too, that I put in prior, might be still leaking a slight bit. So that'll be something I look at, but otherwise it seems like everything else is dry which is what I'm looking forward to. So, or not looking forward to, but thankful for. So that's perfect. We'll probably take this off and finally replace this. It's been a while, been needing to be done. So knock all this stuff out and keep going, one thing at a time. All right, so plenty of water in here. Might need some more water wetter too, to be honest with you, but we have our filler. Now, you can get this off Amazon pretty cheap, pretty straightforward. It's interesting though, because the way mine is, I can't use the same colors, right? So I have to use a green or a blue and a green in order for the seal to really be proper. I'm not really sure why that is, but essentially, you get the part that would go on your radiator. There's a bunch of different ones for whatever radiator you have. So a lot of different options out there. But for mine, basically gonna be blue, and then I use the green as top. So you'll just sit this right, you'll sit this right in here, set that down into the hole, and then just like a radiator cap, you'll find where it spaces out, put it down, twist it. Oh, missed it. And twist it. Now, because mine's weird, I have to put it like halfway in between, but it doesn't leak, which is the important thing. So let me get my water. I just want to check and see if it is leaking real fast. Nope. It's looking good. So cool. We'll fill this up, we'll turn the car on, let it run. We're gonna raise the front end, so the radiator, the top of the radiator, or the top of this will be the highest point, and then let it run, heat cycle it a couple times, and then we'll go from there. So I tightened the screw up on the back. It's way back in there. I'm still gonna use that for my temp gauge at some point. For AEM temp gauge, I still need to buy one, so there's that. But either way, yeah. So now we can get it fired up, open the garage so I don't die of fumes, and then, yeah, let it run for a little bit, heat off, cool off, do the bubbles, all the stuff, and then, yeah, we'll do that probably 2-3 times. Just let it do what it does, and go from there, so. Haven't had a replacement mirror in my car. Just had the, oh, and everything's falling out now. I just had the stock mirror in the car, so I bought an aftermarket one a while ago and decided, it's time to put it in, so. I had somebody make me something from the Speed Saga, but I realized that this could come off and I could use the stock one again. So ultimately what I'm saying is that this, if you ever need to take the ball that's on the back of this off, that comes off the top of your, I guess the top of the A-pillar, there's a screw on the back. You can tighten and loosen that as you see fit in order to make it move around a lot or just be stuck where it's at. So I took that arm off and then I basically just transferred it onto a different mirror, a little smaller, something a little sleeker. So we'll see. I may end up painting this silver too, just so it all is silver, but yeah, I kind of like it because it's OEM, and then I can move this down as I need to make it work, or move it up or whatever. So cool, got this off Amazon, 20 bucks, who knew? Bubbles. This is why, oh, I just missed it. That's why we do it. Do the revs for the air bubbles. See if any more come up. And then additionally, what I didn't show you guys in the last video was I got new lugs, but I got the wrong size. So, of course, I tried to push it on all the way. So there's one on here that is pretty much stuck that we're basically gonna blast off. And then we're gonna replace the ARP extended studs. We have new lug nuts, so we're good there. Or not lug nuts, sorry, we have new lugs, so we're good there. But yeah, we'll bust this one off. I'm assuming it's this one, but yeah, we'll try and bust that off with an impact and then go from there. Yep, we're in trouble. On 3 now. Oh. I'm sure the rest of these will bust off no problem. Okay, well, it's time to get the big guns. Breaker bar tag. So, took all the bolts off from the back, there's 2 of these, and then should be able to slide this off. Yep, okay. Place that to the side, move our caliber out of the way. Sweet. This is probably gonna fall. So, now, the fun part. Our bearings look good. Too much because I don't want to miss the one that we have messed up. The goal here is just to hit this as hard as we can to pop it out, and then we'll pull the other one in with the impact. So, let's just see, move some stuff out of the way, how well this works. This is a new hammer I just got. It was 40 ounces, 4 pounds. I think it says right on there. So hopefully this should come off with relative ease. Move it out of the way of everything else. Nice, first swing. Nice. That was way easier than anticipated. You're gonna want to put this in a place that you can get rid of it or take it out of there, which the left side would have been proper for that. So, let's see if we can't get back up a smidge, just to get it to come through a little more. Nope, I don't think we'll be able to get it there, because this bracket's in the way. So, let's take the bracket off, shall we? Nice. All right. Got this mangled piece of crap out of the way. So let's get the new pack in there, shall we? All right, so got the new ones. This is the part number. I just got it off Amazon real quick. Made it easier, especially when you got the Prime. So we got 3 more in case we do this again or mangle something up. But if you have never put in lug nuts before, you'll simply, you'll just slide it through from the back. They have tools specifically for this to make this a little easier, but let's just see. Put this on the other side. It's much easier to do this when you have bearings off the car, but if you're not fortunate enough to have bearings off the car like I am not, no big deal. Just keep moving it around until you can find the sweet spot of where it'll slide in, because you don't want it to come in at an angle, that is for sure. thinking down low is going to be terrible, up high is terrible. It's pretty rough either which way you look at it, honestly. So let me just get that past that part. Cool. So now we need to pull it through. And we can almost do that pretty much anywhere because the hub is basically the same all the way around. So they have a tool that will allow you to do this with ease, like I was saying before, but the way that we're going to do it is we're going to use one of our lug nuts to pull it through. Let's put that on. I think this is the right impact size. Cool. Now, the part you got to pay attention to is making sure it goes in straight. Cool. Got it lined up as best we can get it. Ooh. And we're on there. Looks like it's as flush as the rest of them, which is great. And we can probably pull a little bit more. There we go. Much better. So, probably want to use a lug nut you don't really care about. I don't really care about these because I'm going to be getting new ones. But yeah, now we have it on there. And this clearly, I mean, it's probably messed up now, right? Knowing my luck. Let's put a different one on just to make sure, and ta-da, we're good. So, like I said, just be mindful when you're pulling it through because there are teeth that are in here. You just pull it through with an impact, makes it easy. Or use the tool, that makes it easy, but again, the problem you're gonna run into is the hub being in the way. So, now we can slap all this back together real quick, and then, yeah, away we go. Interesting. For the other lug nuts, it won't be set. Alright, so we do need to solder some stuff up, but that's minor in the grand scheme of things. We need to take this crank pulley off, need to take the water pump pulley off. Probably should get a new belt one of these days, but not today. And then we need to loosen up the connections for the alternator so we can actually get this off because we have some new pieces. I was going to do the timing belt, but I don't really need to. This one still seems like it's doing quite well with no issues, no rubbing, nothing like that. But the new timing belt covers. So this one is, yeah. So with that being that way, we'll replace those. This shouldn't take but like 30 minutes. So let me get the alternator stuff off and then we'll get started from there. All right, so for my alternator, there's a couple differences compared to, I guess, other cars. Bolts have gone missing. Go figure. After owning a car for 9 years, that's just kind of how it goes. And I took this bottom bolt out because it makes it a lot easier to move things around. Really, this and then the tensioner on that side should pull the alternator and tension the belt, which I've been running like this for, I don't know, seven years, 6 years, something like that. And have never had an issue with it, with the belt coming loose or anything because of the tensioner that's there. So that bottom bolt is really just there for support. But if you have a large enough bolt up top, which mine's here, double nut it on, you should be set. So really, I don't even need to take this part off, I don't believe, if I remember correctly. I should just be able to move the tensioner. I gotta loosen it up. So I'll have to loosen this up because I put a bolt on the back, and then I'll loosen the tensioner that's here on the left side. It's pretty impossible to see because of where everything's at, all the wires and everything I have in here. But yeah, we should be good. Put that on there and see where we're at. So let's get started. Typically, I'd say go ahead and take off your take your battery off when you're working in an alternator, but sometimes it's just easier to keep moving. So. All right, so since I've replaced hardware, mine's all mismatched and whatnot. Not a big deal for me, but maybe a big deal for some. So I can't give you the exact numbers or which sockets to use and whatnot, but mine are 13s. Yours are probably 12s if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'll loosen this up right here. And since it's double nutted on, they're both gonna rotate together. I think I just put the double nut on there, honestly, on this end because it was super long of a bolt. So we don't even need it off, we just need it loose. So now that it's loose, there, and then this other end piece, plate thing, move this up. Loosen some shit as we go. Wish I had like an impact, like a right angle. Oh, that'd be so pretty. This scenario. So perfect. Because it just takes so long to get all this done. I need to do my fuel because I don't like this line that's here. It's not really meant for fuel anyway. So, alright. Loosen that up, twist the rest out by hand, lift it up, you can go a little further, and then you lift it up. Now it's free to move around anywhere it wants, and then you will just slide this forward. Boom. Nice and easy. So, good way to tell if your belt needs to be replaced. You can see a bunch of rubbing marks on it, but the teeth, yeah, this needs to be replaced because you can see the belt's cracking. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but the belt's kind of cracking. So it's liable to essentially just rip apart into shreds. I should have a replacement one, and I think it's in my trunk. So let's get that real quick. Well, I don't have the other belt. I don't have the same belt anyway. I have the AC belt, or power steering belt, which you can tell the difference because of the ribbing for it is just completely different, right? Oh, hopefully you can see that. The ribbing for these are just different altogether. So, yeah, not the right belt. Oh, nice, I didn't record any of that. I've just been talking to myself. So, long story short, always make sure you have 4 bolts here for the crank pulley. Just sit inside there. Make sure that this is on the outside, not the inside. You will have problems rubbing. So you'll put it there on the outside of it, slide the bolts through. That's your keyway and all the other bolts. I'm not sure what these other 2 are for, so don't worry about them, I guess. But yeah, 4 bolts, 4 attachment bolts, and then that'll sit on a key. So you can't put it upside down, won't let you. But yeah, long story short, not this specific crank pulley, but the other one fell off a long time ago. When I was taking this off, I was giving you guys a story, but pretty much drove down to Scottsdale Pavilions, drove there. I think I had the other crank pulley somewhere, actually over here, but drove to Pavilions, did some recent time belt service, and then I came back and my crank pulley fell off. So it fell straight down, and this is a 1.6 short nose, so it went straight down and went vertical on the driver's side and just rode its way back on my frame rail. So thank you, Ken from Garage Star. If I didn't have the braces on my frame rails, pretty sure that would have ripped right through the floor. I'm just convinced. So yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. But if I had the other crank pulley that I could just pull out and show you, they're pretty strong. They're actually really strong and surprisingly at this point. So this is the old crank pulley. Looks pretty much the same. I painted it black a long time ago. Anyways, so this, when it went off, and you can see some of the damage here, where your belt was gonna ride on that, that's destroyed. This edge itself is destroyed, so it can rip stuff up too. But this went like this and just rode all the way back. And obviously I already found it on the freeway, so who knew? But yeah, just make sure you put those on. Don't put the small type of 10s on here. Put like, oh yeah, leave it with oh yeah. Because I put, one of these on there, as far as a small boat is concerned compared to a long one. So a lot more length going on here. That is needed for sure. So on the back of the crank pulley, we have had another piece, key indicator of which way it needs to go. And then last but not least, you have this part. So let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Crank pulley's looking good, everything seems right where I want it to be. I obviously need to take this off. I need to take this off too. So first, second, crank pulley, last little thin washer on the end. So just keep all those together in that order when you take things off, and it'll be that much simpler when you go to put it back on. So got that out of the way, and then, oh, that was the thing I forgot to do earlier, was to take the water pump off. If you ever need to take off your water pump pulley, you can just use, if say you took it off, same thing I'm doing right now, took the alternator or took the crank pulley off and it just came off, you can just simply use the belt, wrap it around. You can use an impact if you got it. I don't have one for small space for this, but hold on to it and just break them loose. Makes it nice and easy. This back on. much better. So we can do the same thing again. So. Put this back on. Pull that back out. Get our piece a little looser just so we can get it back on there because it was just barely loose enough. Okay, I'll go through. Or tensioner is what I mean. The last thing you're going to tighten are the bolts on the side. Once everything's nice and tight with the tensioner, then you'll do the last thing on the side and then you'll be set. So, this here. Alright guys, so this time I actually have the right stuff, the right size. So, at least so I think. Let's try this real quick, just to make sure all's well. So get the package open. Much better. Much better. Cool, now let's take the rest of them off, shall we? But you get the idea. Essentially gonna replace all the lugs with some freshies, so everything is fresh. Hey, the GoPro's working. All right, cool. So, yes, I literally, turn the light on real quick. Quite literally just swapped out the lugs all around with the Miata lug nuts. So, everything looks so good. This is the one that was damaged, so we just replaced that. So they're all golden now. Last but not least, because I have an alignment set up for tomorrow, we are going to bring the other wheels as well. That way we don't have to worry about it. So I'll have the other wheels in here so that way we can lift the car up when we get to Pat's house. And then once we lift it up, put the fronts on because we can go forward and backward. We just can't seem to turn because of where the caster's at. So look at where the caster's at now compared to, and you've probably seen it in photos too, and I've already called it out a few different times, but yeah, the caster here is definitely not centered with the wheel well. So once we're centered with the wheel well, we'll push it up a little bit. It'll probably contact this, which it is what it is. Sorry, you can't see that. It'll probably contact all this that's on the inside, which it is what it is, but we can trim all that out and then we should be fine. So I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm excited to finally have the Sharks one all the way, and then you know me, I'll take a couple photos here and there, but yeah, that's it for this one. I'm not gonna record while I'm at Pat's house either. I just, you know, I'm not the vlog type personally. I just like to work on my car and do stuff around my car. So if he's okay with it, I'll do it, but otherwise I'm not stressed about it. So, but yeah, that's it for this one. So like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.